Good morning, welcome or welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Monday again, Monday, April the 27th, and we're here to look at the new releases in Cozy Mysteries published this week. Hope you had a good weekend. Let us start looking at Cozy Mysteries, because there's a lot of them. We got to get to them. There's a lot. There's like 50 something just in the Cozy Mysteries. First up, Colleen Cambridge, next in series, fourth in the American in Paris series. This is called In the Spirit of French Murder. Tabitha has enjoyed an entertaining afternoon in Julia's kitchen. This is Julia Child. But her return home is a bit jarring. As she arrives at her grandmother's Rue de l'Université Mansion, a woman bursts out of the door babbling about messages from spirits and a warning grandpère must heed. Uncle Raffet angrily sends the woman on her way, and neither man will answer Tabitha's questions. It's not the last she sees of the mysterious visitor. While she's on a date that evening, she's accosted by her again and learns that Madame Vierka is a medium who claims to have visions of a dark fate that awaits Grandpère and Uncle Raffet. The very next night, Tabitha's messieurs host a soirée at their new restaurant, inviting fellow resistance fighters from the war known as the Nine Bleuets. To commemorate the work of the Resistance Network, the vase on the dinner table sports 9 of the pretty blue flowers. Why is this relevant? But shortly after the revelers leave the restaurant, one of Grandpère's old friends is found dead on the street, and one of the 9 flowers is missing from the vase. When a second member of the 9 Bleuets is found poisoned the next day, and a Bleuet flower is left with the body, Tabitha can't ignore Madame Vierka's frightening predictions about her dear messieurs. She has no choice but to share her suspicions and fears with the enigmatic drinking game and unruffled Inspector Merveille. And it goes on. Good morning, Emily. Hi, everyone. Hello. I have the day off, so yay, so I can join. Hope everyone has a good Monday. Oh, fantastic. Lynn Morrison has a new one in another of her series. What's a Little Dueling Between Friends? Second in the Eddie and Tris Victorian Mysteries. London, 1868. Eddie Redgrave will bend rules, reputations, and polite society itself to protect the innocent. This time, justice demands she stand beside the last man she ever wanted to defend. Her childhood nemesis is accused of killing a man on the dueling field, an illegal and dishonorable act shielded by aristocratic privilege. The evidence is damning, the scandal inevitable, yet something about the death refuses to sit neatly in its box. Tristan Banks Fernsby, Duke of Rockingham, is tasked with finding the killer before the affair erupts into public disgrace. When his investigation leads him to Eddie's door, the case takes a dangerous turn. The man who died may not have been an innocent gentleman after all, and the duel may have been meant to silence him. We've got some names today. Iona Wishaw has a new one in her series, the Lane Winslow Mysteries. This is 13th. A False and Fatal Claim. Are you going to do anything special on your day off, Emily, or just relax and enjoy the day? I would do the latter. Lane Winslow is known in her idyllic British Columbia lake town of Kings Cove for a bad habit of finding dead bodies. Well, 12 times. This time, all she's found is a suspiciously well-made hat abandoned in the brush, but she's certain there's a mystery afoot. I found a hat. There's a mystery. While Lane is overtaken by the urge to snoop around for clues, her husband, Inspector Darling, and his team at the Nelson Police Station find their straightforward case of a stolen boat suddenly complicated when a 14-year-old boy is reported missing from the local school. When the search for the boy, the hat's mysterious owner, and the boat lead them to the sudden disappearance of the local cafe cook, a visiting wealthy investor, and a $70,000 in cash, the case quickly turns into a snarled tangle of missing people and scant circumstantial evidence. I don't think these things necessarily are connected, but I'm sure they probably are. It's a book. Kathleen Suzette has a new one in her freshly baked cozy mysteries, 42nd. Lemony Lies is the title. Life in Sandy Harbor has been anything but quiet lately, and Allie Blanchard is still catching her breath. With big changes unfolding in her family and a full summer ahead, she's ready to settle into a simpler rhythm, one filled with baking, beach days, and long chats with her best friend Lucy. But peace never seems to last for long. When life takes a sour turn and someone ends up dead, Allie once again finds herself pulled into the middle of a mystery she never asked for. As whispers ripple through town and secrets begin to surface, it quickly becomes clear that not everything is as sweet as it seems. End of that row. Rita Mae Brown has a new one. Claude and Dangerous, 34th in the Mrs. Murphy Mysteries. The leaves have fallen in Crozet, I'm probably saying it wrong, sorry, Virginia, and with a sudden downpour of cold rain, autumn gloom has settled. But Harry and her best friend Susan are determined to cheer up the town with the help of a kind local doctor. They just might succeed. Not only is Dr. Anglin kind and generous, he's also the owner of multiple properties, and he agrees to let Harry and Susan use one of his homes to throw a spooky Halloween bash. Harry and Susan quickly bury themselves in a flurry of planning. Witches, ghosts, and headless horsemen abound. But around town, things grow even spookier when a local townsperson turns up dead. Soon, one dead body turns into multiple, and what's even spookier is that the deaths seem to be connected. Lynn Cahoon has a new one. Second in her Bainbridge Island mystery series, Confessions of an Amateur Sleuth. 20-something bookseller and sleuth Meg Gates has a confession. Solving crimes may be easier than writing. She's been working on a guide to become a detective, but she's her own worst critic. She needs a how-to in order to write her how-to. At the Bainbridge Island Writers Group, she meets freelance food critic Lee Anderson, who invites her to join him for dinner at the local crab so he won't be suspected of reviewing the place. Lee is a bit of a crab himself and intends to do a hatchet job on the eatery. Instead, someone does a job on the critic. He's found dead by the marina. Now Bainbridge's culinary elite are on the suspect list. With help from her Bo Dalton and the mystery crew at Island Books, Meg dons her sleuthing cap to solve the mystery du jour before another murder is served cold. ... Some Like It Fudgy by Nancy Coco. 14th in the Candy-Coated Mysteries. As a gesture of goodwill, Allie is bringing a tray of assorted fudge to her new husband's ex-wife, Melanie, but she finds Melanie's body on the floor of her photography studio where a remote-controlled camera keeps snapping picture after picture. In one, she's alive, and in the next, she's dead. While Rowan Giles, another visitor to the shop, chatters nervously and incessantly, Allie dials the police, though she encourages her husband to leave the case to another officer. Several unidentified people were leaving when she arrived on the scene, nevertheless. Rowan is the top suspect thanks to one thing she didn't talk about, her bitter relationship with Melanie. Was Rowan just stirring the pot with her gossipy gabbing? Allie's not so sure. She's learning about some dark secrets in Melanie's past, and identifying an obvious suspect is one thing, but finding the truth is a whole other kettle of fudge. Maddie Day has a new one. A Poisonous Pour, 3rd in the C.C. Barton series. It's Memorial Day weekend, and Sonoma County's Alexander Valley is buzzing with activity. For Cece, business at Vino y Vida is going great, as is her romance with new beau Benjamin. Meanwhile, Cece's neighbor, Richard Flora, is stirring up controversy with his newest article, an expose of Reagan Green, power-hungry director of a Valley District organization. Also in the mix is the town's big classic car show, paired with wine tastings. At the show, Cece spots Reagan, who is displaying her restored green 72 Thunderbird convertible. As Cece pours taste, she witnesses several heated discussions with Reagan, including an argument with wine aficionado and New Colinas hardware store owner Greg Jardis. Otherwise, all goes smoothly, until Sunday brings shocking news: Reagan has been murdered. Etc. End of that row. Like I say, we have 50 some to get through. We got to get like 25. Sarah Graves has a new one. Death by Chocolate Ladyfingers, 9th in the Death by Chocolate Mysteries. Oops, there we go. As the sun sets on summer in Eastport, local celebrations are in full swing, and Jake and Ellie have their hands full supplying the most decadent of desserts for Eastport High School's Class of '97 reunion. Unexpectedly, the gathering includes ex-spouses Cindy Munson and Terry Lawson, seemingly reunited as a family with their precocious 6-year-old daughter Ivy. But when Cindy's body is discovered murdered in Lawson's car that night, suspicion immediately falls upon the tech financier, who was once also Eastport High's most notorious school bully. As the evidence stacks against him, Terry becomes the prime suspect, leaving young Ivy in the care of child services. Remembering her own experiences in foster care, Jake volunteers to look after the little girl while conducting her own investigation into the night of the dance with Ellie. But someone doesn't want the amateur sleuth digging up past humiliating secrets that may point to vengeful present-day motives, even if it means adding Jake and Ellie to the killer's body count. Catherine Mack has a new one. This is a name-packed week. Lots of names this week. This weekend doesn't end well for anyone. 3rd in the Vacation Mysteries. Eleanor Dash can never catch a break. Not only has she had to solve 2 real-life murder plots in the past year, but both times it was when she was meant to be on vacation. Now she's finally got a ticket to a relaxing weekend, an all-inclusive resort at the Bahamas, where she's speaking at a conference for murder mystery writers. But she arrives to find a body on the floor of her hotel room, because of course she does. Honey, you're travel cursed. I know what it's like. With plenty of familiar faces at the resort, any one of them could have been the intended target or the culprit behind it all. Was it Oliver Forrest, Eleanor's dashing boyfriend who's in danger of being dropped by his publisher because his sales are dwindling? Or Connor Smith, Eleanor's infuriating ex-lover turned best-selling rom-com author with a sordid past of his own? Or her sister Harper, whose own stilted writing career has been a sore point for years as Eleanor has soared? Perhaps it's one of the other writers also in attendance. Probably. As friends, frenemies, and foes from Eleanor's past all seem to be invited to the island. A Murder in Marylebone by Emily Sullivan, 2nd in the Minnie Harper Mysteries. The world is changing at the dawn of the 20th century, but respectable English families still dread a public scandal, so Minnie agrees to accompany her reckless sister Delia for a night on the town with her bohemian friends. The evening involves a raucous house party, a visit to a fortune teller, and an encounter with a flirtatious baron. But none of that unsettles Minnie more than running into Stephen Dorian, her former employer in Corfu, who stirs in her a mix of resentment and attraction. Soon after, Delia discovers the body of her rumored beau in his own home, and Minnie insists on playing by the rules and informing the police. After all, fleeing the scene would suggest Delia is guilty of more than an improper late-night rendezvous. When the sisters return to the townhouse, their parents, dreading the threat of gossip, insist that Minnie help clear Delia's name. Her discreet investigation will take her back into Delia's decadent circle and have her crossing paths again with the Baron, a collector of antiques, and the infuriating Stephen Dorian. But her new social life is soon overshadowed by dangerous intrigue that leads her to question even her own past. Tanya Kalpas has a new one. 3rd in her Southern Magical Bakery series. This is Mystics, Muffins, and Murder. Welcome to Celestial Falls, where the pastries are warm, the gossip is sweeter, and the magic is just beneath the surface. Low Hill Park thought she was finally settling into her new life in heavenly desserts, baking, blending in, and keeping her unusual gifts to herself. But when best-selling author Patrice Holloway is found dead in a bookstore reading chair, peaceful, composed, and very much murdered, Lo's quiet life crumbles faster than a bad batch of scones, because Lo doesn't just bake. She reads what the dough tells her. But what is it telling her now? This wasn't just murder, it was silencing. As the town points finger at the loudest suspect, Lowe starts uncovering something far more dangerous. End of that row. 12 down, a gabillion to go. Buried Beneath the Pines by Amber Ward, second in the Trails, Timber, and Truth series. I have finally started to settle into life in Pine Hollow, running the campground, finding my rhythm, and maybe even considering staying longer than one season. Then Ranger finds something he refuses to ignore, a patch of disturbed earth, and beneath it, human remains. The official explanation? Old bones, nothing to worry about. I don't buy it, because in a town like Pine Hollow, nothing stays buried without a reason. With my loyal dog Ranger at my side and the Pathfinders never short on opinions or theories, I start pulling at threads that lead further into the past than anyone seems comfortable with. A disappearance no one talks about, stories that don't line up, and a growing sense that someone doesn't want this uncovered. In a place like this, the past isn't gone, it's just waiting, and I'm not about to leave it buried. You meddling kids. Mulling Over Murder by H.C. Cardona, 6th in the Walsher Mystery Series. Peyton Hart is determined to make this year different. Hosting her first Friendsgiving at her late mother's home feels like a step toward claiming a life that finally belongs to her. With a new seasonal tea blend on the shelves and her found family gathering around the table, everything should be perfect. Until old secrets start simmering beneath the surface. A tense confrontation at the farmer's market, a whispered warning about her mother's past, a suspicious argument between the mayor and the town's most influential historian. And when a local figure turns up dead just days before Thanksgiving, Peyton realizes this holiday is about to serve something far more dangerous than turkey. As suspicion spreads and the holiday draws closer, Peyton finds herself working alongside Detective Levi Kessler, the town's most reluctant participant in anything resembling celebration. And this Thanksgiving, someone isn't making it to dessert. Daryl Wood Gerber has a new one. Murder in a Lavender Daze, 2nd in the Aroma Wellness series. With its soothing decor and tempting treatments, customers are flocking to Aroma Wellness for more than just facials and massages. Lately, Emily has been booking private events from spa parties to bridal showers and birthdays. Next on her calendar is something really unique, a happily divorced party. After 8 years of marriage, Addison Lacey is divorcing her husband, who she claims convinced her he was Mr. Nice Guy when he was really Mr. Controlling Guy. To kick off her journey toward becoming a better version of herself, Addison wants to celebrate big time. Her wealthy mother, Gianna, a former model turned difficult diva, is footing the bill, but when Emma goes to Gianna's home to pick up the final payment, she and Addison find her dead in her bed amid the aroma of lavender with an herbal-infused pillow from the party nearby. Soon Addison is a prime suspect, but Emma knows there's plenty of others Gianna rubbed the wrong way, including her soon-to-be ex-son-in-law. Once again, with the help of her cousin, her nana, and her trusted Burman cat, Vivi, Emily is determined to sniff out a killer whether police like it or not. Emily says, I need to hop off to finish getting ready for the day, taking my car in for an oil change and tire rotation. Well, have a good Monday. Hope everyone has a good day and stays safe. We're supposed to have severe storms and possibly tornadoes today. Yes, stay safe. Have a very good Monday. Thanks for being here. Kat McGee has a new one, Hazards to Hexes, 4th in the Mystic Haven Tea Shop Mysteries. By month 3, Fiona Shaw has Mystic Haven Tea Shop almost running like a normal business, if normal includes inherited magic, a ring with opinions, and a talking cat familiar who criticizes her decisions like he's filing performance reviews. It is not perfect, but it is contained. Fiona likes contained. Contained means nothing is fraying in public. Then someone brings in a box of handmade puppet dolls. They are not charming. They are not harmless. They are exact little Stitch replicas of people in town, and when something happens to a doll, the matching human feels it. When the antique dealer is who sold them is found dead with a puppet in her hand, Mystic Haven starts unraveling fast. Worse, the dolls are drawing strength from the old tea magic steeped into Fiona's shop, which means her business is now stitched straight into a murder. With her talking cat being insufferably bright, her barista spotting magical wrongness in the strangest ways, and a dependable local handyman arriving with steady hands and inconveniently good timing, Fiona starts teasing apart knots nobody else wants to touch. In a town full of collectors, heirs, witches, and people who can hem a lie so neatly it almost passes for truth, the kind of work gets dangerous. End of that row. We'll have time for one more, maybe. How to Cheat Your Own Death by Kristen Perrin, third in the Castle Knoll Files. 1968. Frances Adams is loving her new London life, and she stepped into a world of glamour thanks to her new friend Vera Huntington, a magnetic socialite as mysterious as she is provocative. Vera dances around London like she owns it, taking Frances with her. Present day. When Addie Adams heads to London to visit her famous artist mother Laura, the last thing she expects to find is a dead body. Least of all for it to be Laura's new protege, left in an alley with her heart surgically removed from her chest. Annie is no stranger to murder. After all, she solved a few already, and something about this case feels familiar. She's read about one just like it in the journals of her late great aunt Frances, whose friend Vera was killed in the 1960s in the exact same way. As Annie investigates, threats pile up on Laura's doorstep, and it soon becomes clear that she's next. With her mother's life on the line, can Annie find the killer before it's too late? That is all we have time for. Everybody remember where we parked. The bell is about to ring. Well, I hope you have a good Monday. Thank you for watching. On Wednesday, we will look at the crime fiction and thrillers, the darker side. And then on Friday, we'll look at the rest of the cozy mysteries, probably as drive-bys, because there's still so many of them. I don't have any sprints tonight. I think it might be stormy tonight, is it? Not sure. But my next sprints are tomorrow night, Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We do it every Tuesday and Thursday evening and Saturday afternoons. Everybody, please be safe. We got snow last night, but it's going to be cold, but by the end of the week, we're going to be in the 70s, so it's not going to last. Thank you so much. As the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Have a good day. God bless.